Welcome to 1000 PS, and we have got the world's best secret. Nobody saw this coming. This is the new GS Adventure. Yeah, all right, it wasn't the world's best secret by any stretch of the imagination, because when we rode the bike on its initial launch, we all knew there was an adventure coming, but now we have the official email telling us that there is going to be an adventure. So let's start off with the familiarities. So the engine, exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
So we've got 145 HP at 7,750 RPM, 149 Newton meters, 6,500 RPM. This is a completely new engine that they put in the current 1300 GS, but despite the bike being bigger and heavier and larger, no more increase in power. Same gearing, will be the same shaft drive,
It will be probably the same
gearbox, same everything. But what is interesting next on the press release is the automated shift assist.
Exactly.
Is that a quick shifter, an e-clutch?
It's like the e-clutch by Honda, but it also shifts gear automatically. So it's like an old school automatic gearbox.
Yeah.
But you can also choose to shift the gears manually. And of course it's BMW, so it's optional. You have to pay for it.
Oh, you have to pay for it?
Of course.
Yeah. We'll probably get onto that a little bit later,
Yeah.
the pricing. As you'd expect, with it being a GS Adventure, we've got a completely new rear subframe, and that's essentially because everybody's going to put their dog, their cow, their pillions, their wife, their luggage, their tents, their barrels of beer, and load it up to as much as possible. So they've had to change the construction of the rear subframe to, I presume, just to make it stronger.
Probably, yeah.
Cool. Then moving on, we have got, which will be an optional extra, I assume, the dynamic suspension adjustment.
Exactly, yeah. It's as always, it's optional, but it adds the plus in comfort.
Yeah.
It does all the stuff by itself when you're riding. It doesn't matter if you're alone or with a pillion or pillion and luggage.
Yeah.
It all does it automatically. And you can also choose to lower the bike by 20 millimeters if you're shorter. And it also does it by itself.
You mean that at me, don't you?
Well, I'm also short at him. No shame, no shame.
So that's the system where it'll take basically the preload out the shock, lowers the bike to make it easier to access,
Exactly.
to get on the bike.
And then there's also the comfort package that lowers the bike already by 20 millimeters.
Okay, cool. So we're going to go 30 and then 20.
Exactly.
Which is a significant drop in seat height. I'm assuming that the dynamic suspension adjustment is going to be recalibrated because the bike's going to have different dynamics, different weight, different width to the same GS, and we can assume it'll be an optional extra.
Of course.
Of course. It goes to BMW. Now, the riding assist and rear collision warning. Now, I kind of like this.
Yeah.
So we had the frontal collision warning on the standard 1300 GS that we didn't actually test, because to test it, you actually have to basically crash it.
Pretty much.
But now we have a rear collision warning system. So basically, on the launch, I need to find somebody brave and try and accelerate up to them as quick as possible to see what happens.
Yeah, but it also works the other way around. I checked on the longer email they also sent. It works like this: when someone is about to crash into you, the indicators are flashing. So to warn them, so like, hey, I'm here.
So you're sat at a junction or a roundabout, you think everything's fine, but behind you is complete catastrophe.
Probably, yeah.
And indicators start flashing, you look in your mirror, and then you act accordingly, which is either jumping off and running or selecting first and moving forward.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how we test that on the launch.
Hopefully they have some spares.
I think it's a world first. I mean, everybody's got front radar and rear radar, but few manufacturers got the blind spot detection. Yeah. But I think this is a completely new rear.
Yeah, but it works with the rear radar, so I think it's just a software thing.
Must be a software. Cool. The big talking points that everybody's going to be talking about, I guess, is the fuel tank. So we're now up to 30 litres, which is exactly the same as the old Adventure was 30 litres. The only other bike that's got 30 litres is the Multistrada Rally.
I think it is, yeah.
And that's it. So we've gone up from 19, I think, on the
From
stand.
19 litres to 30, yes.
So for those who don't know, when we went 1250 GS to 1300 GS, we lost a litre. Mm-hmm. And now we've gained 11 litres and we're up to 30 litres. Exactly. So if you've got a standard 1300 GS, you're at 19. If you're on the big Adventure, you've got 30. And that means basically a complete redesign.
It is. I mean, if you look at the bike, it's quite boxy.
Yeah.
But it has some benefits because the top of the fuel tank is flat, so you can put your coffee mug on there.
Yeah.
They even have these rubberized panels.
Yeah.
That are just for that. I mean, you can probably put something else on it, not only a coffee mug.
Ashtray on one side, coffee on the other.
That sounds good. But you said that in the middle there is a little gap and a little holder for the tank bag.
Yeah,
you can actually put the BMW tank bag in there. But you said it looks like an ashtray.
It looks like a small ashtray from an old plane from the 70s. You probably can't remember that.
No.
But they used to be in the armrests.
I'm too young for that. I'm sorry, Adam.
But in all joking aside, the 30-litre fuel tank is a unique selling point. So we did some quick maths. So the quoted range on the standard 1300 is 246 miles. And the quoted range on the Adventure is going to be 388. So there's another 142 miles in range, which is significant. That's, normally it's 1 or 2 litres for the big bike, but that's a big jump in range. And then on top of that, we've also got a significant jump up in weight, as you'd kind of expect.
Yes.
So we've gone from 237 kilograms on the standard 1300 GS to 269 quoted.
Now, that's without any extras.
So that's standard, no panniers, no rails, that's standard.
Yeah.
Now, BMW, you'll probably know more than me. Do they quote the bike fully fueled, 90% fueled?
I think they quoted 90% fueled, but we have our own R1300 GS.
Yeah.
And when we weighed it with all the extras on it, I think it was 20 kilograms more than BMW said.
Yeah.
So I reckon that this bike will easily get to 280 kilograms.
Yeah, I think so too. What's interesting is the quoted weight has gone up by 32 kilograms.
Yeah.
But because the fuel tank has gone up 11 litres, 1 litre is usually a kilogram. So, and because it's 90% fueled, we could almost take 10 kilograms off of that. Mm-hmm. So actually, bike for bike, it's gone up about 20, 21, 22 kilograms. That's not bad maths, is it?
No, that sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Seat height, interestingly, has gone from 850 to 870, so we're 20 mil higher.
Yeah.
But what we touched on is that you've got the ride height adjuster for dwarfs like me.
Yeah. But what's also actually kind of cool is the bag system at the back.
Yeah.
Because we already know it from the old 1300 GS, the one we have right now, that if you choose the BMW parts, you actually get some electricity into the bags.
Yeah.
Through a magnetic field or anything like this. So you can put your USB port in there, you can put a light in there, which is actually quite useful, I think.
I think it's really, I think it's useful. So basically, it's like a magnet. So when you put your pannier on, that makes the connection.
Yeah.
USB port in your pannier means you can charge your phone, charge your sat nav. Or if you're carrying a small animal, it'll have a light.
Oh, great.
Like a fridge. When you open the fridge, the pannier will be like, oh. So that's cool. So we've kind of touched on almost everything.
But not the price.
The price. BMW keep changing the price a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we only have the German prices, which changed in a matter of 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's gone up about 300 euros. But we can say it's about 3,000 euros more than the standard GS. I don't know what.
Yeah, so in the UK, we're going to be looking at around £2,000 to £3,000 more than the base bike.
Yeah.
Which, considering you get the bigger fuel tank and the shift assist, and there's a lot of parts on that bike to justify that, because it's been a complete redesign of the front end. The whole rear end is a complete redesign because it's much stronger.
Yeah.
So it's not just a 1300 GS with a blown up fuel tank.
It isn't, no.
No. And it looks completely different. I mean, it'd be interesting to see your comments below, whether you like the looks or you don't like the looks. That'll be really interesting because we're kind of split 50-50 here.
Yeah.
But we can estimate that price is going to be £2,000 to £3,000 more. But as we both know, the chance of a standard GS Adventure leaving a BMW showroom is pretty slim. It's going to be an abundance of accessories depending on what you want to do with a bike.
Exactly.
A little thing we've not touched on, which is just worth mentioning, wheel sizes have changed the same, so they've not gone up to a 21-inch front wheel for more off-road bias. The rake trail will be the same, wheelbase will be the same, that kind of stuff. But again, if you've got any real technical questions, fire them below. Myself or one of the guys from 1000 PS will be able to answer your questions. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll be riding the bike hopefully October, November-ish.
Probably, yeah.
We'll probably send somebody a bit taller than me to ride it, but hopefully I'll get the chance to ride it both on-road and off-road. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.